Hey everyone, welcome back to Kind Care Seniors. I'm really glad you're here today. I talk to so many people who are doing everything right, taking their medications, staying active, trying to eat healthy, but they're still dealing with constant joint pain and stiffness. And you know what I've discovered? Sometimes the problem isn't what you're not doing, it's what you're unknowingly eating every single day. Today, we're going to talk about 15 common foods that could be quietly making your arthritis worse. And I promise, some of these are going to surprise you. Before we jump in, drop a comment and tell me, where are you watching from? And have you ever noticed your joints hurting more after certain meals? All right, let's dive in, because knowledge is power and you deserve to feel better. So here's a question. Have you ever woken up with stiff, achy joints and thought, why do I feel so bad today? Maybe you blame the weather. Maybe you think you overdid it yesterday. But what if I told you it could be something you ate for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? The truth is, certain foods can trigger inflammatory responses in your body that directly worsen arthritis symptoms. More pain, more swelling, more stiffness. Dr. Emily Carter, a leading rheumatologist and nutrition specialist, says that inflammation doesn't just come from genetics or aging, it comes from what's on your plate. And the scary part? Some of the foods we eat every single day, foods we think are harmless or even healthy, are actually fueling that inflammation. So today, I'm breaking down the 15 worst offenders. We'll talk about why they're problematic, what they do to your joints, and most importantly, what you can eat instead. Stick with me until the end, because that last one, it's going to shock you. Let's get started. Quick note before we continue. Everything I'm sharing today is for educational purposes and backed by scientific research, but it's not a replacement for medical advice from your doctor. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making major changes to your diet, especially if you're managing a chronic condition. All right, now let's jump into the list. Food number 1, soda and sugary drinks. Soda and sugary drinks. Liquid inflammation in a can. Let's start with one of the biggest culprits, soda and sweetened beverages. Here's the deal. These drinks are loaded with fructose, a type of sugar that triggers the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines in your body. Cytokines are like little messengers that tell your immune system to ramp up inflammation. And when your joints are already dealing with arthritis, that extra inflammation means more pain and stiffness. But there's more. Sugary drinks also lead to weight gain, which puts extra stress on your knees, hips, and lower back. Exactly the joints that arthritis loves to attack. A 2020 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who drank more sugary beverages had higher uric acid levels, which can trigger gout, a painful form of inflammatory arthritis. And here's something else. When your body processes all that sugar, it creates something called advanced glycation end products, or AGES. These compounds increase oxidative stress and inflammation throughout your body. Dr. Emily Carter tells her patients that cutting out soda is one of the fastest ways to reduce flare-ups and improve joint health. So what should you drink instead? Water with lemon, unsweetened herbal tea, or sparkling water with a splash of fruit juice? Your joints will thank you. Food number 2, white bread. White bread, the silent joint saboteur. Next up, white bread. I know, it's convenient, it's cheap, and it's everywhere. But here's the problem. White bread is made from refined flour, which has been stripped of all its fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What's left? Basically just starch that spikes your blood sugar almost immediately. And when your blood sugar spikes, your body releases inflammatory proteins called cytokines, the same troublemakers we just talked about. A 2017 study published in Nutrients found that diets high in refined grains like white bread are directly linked to elevated inflammatory markers. Plus, white bread lacks the anti-inflammatory benefits of whole grains, which contain fiber and nutrients that actually help lower C-reactive protein, a key inflammation marker that's often elevated in arthritis patients. The fix? Swap white bread for whole grain bread, sourdough, or sprouted grain options. Your joints and your blood sugar will be much happier. Food number 3, bacon. Bacon. Delicious but dangerous for your joints. All right, this one hurts, literally and figuratively, because who doesn't love bacon? But here's the truth. Bacon is loaded with saturated fat and AGES, both of which promote inflammation. A study in Frontiers in Immunology found that diets high in saturated fats and advanced glycation end products significantly increase inflammation throughout the body. And for people with arthritis, that means more joint pain and less mobility. On top of that, bacon is extremely high in sodium, which causes fluid retention. And that leads to more swelling and discomfort in your joints. Look, I'm not saying you can never have bacon again, but if you're dealing with arthritis, moderation is key. And consider healthier protein sources like eggs, turkey, or plant-based options most of the time. Number 4, potato chips. Potato chips, fried, salty, and full of trouble. Potato chips, crunchy, salty, addictive. And unfortunately, one of the worst things you can eat if you have arthritis. Here's why: they're packed with trans fats and excessive salt. Trans fats, which are found in processed and fried foods, are known to increase systemic inflammation. They actually alter your cell membranes and intensify inflammatory processes. And all that salt? It causes water retention and raises blood pressure, which makes inflammation even worse. A 2006 study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that diets high in trans and saturated fats significantly elevate inflammatory cytokines, the exact compounds that cause arthritis flare-ups. The good news? There are healthier alternatives. Try baked veggie chips, air-popped popcorn, or roasted chickpeas. You'll still get that satisfying crunch without the inflammation. Food number 5, beer. Beer, more than just empty calories. Now, I'm not here to ruin happy hour, but if you're dealing with arthritis, you need to know what beer does to your body. First, beer contains gluten, which can trigger inflammation in people who are sensitive to it, especially those with celiac disease. Second, beer is rich in purines, compounds that your body converts into uric acid. And high uric acid levels can lead to gout, a form of arthritis that causes severe joint inflammation and pain. Third, alcohol interferes with your body's ability to regulate inflammation. A 2021 study in Nutrients found that alcohol consumption can increase rheumatoid arthritis severity by affecting immune pathways. And here's one more thing. Beer can reduce the effectiveness of arthritis medications and contribute to liver problems and osteoporosis. If you love beer, try to keep it to special occasions. And consider switching to lower purine alcoholic drinks like wine in moderation, or better yet, sparkling water with lime. Food number 6, ice cream. Ice cream, sweet, cold, and inflammatory. Ice cream, everyone's favorite comfort food. But unfortunately, it's packed with saturated fats and refined sugars, both of which fuel inflammation. When your body metabolizes all that sugar, it triggers the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which intensify joint inflammation and pain. A 2020 study in Nutrients found that diets high in refined sugar and saturated fat accelerate inflammatory processes in rheumatoid arthritis patients. Plus, ice cream is high in calories, which can lead to weight gain, and every extra pound puts about 4 pounds of pressure on your knees. That's not to say you can never enjoy ice cream again, but try lower sugar options, smaller portions, or alternatives like frozen yogurt or fruit-based sorbets. Food number 7, margarine. Margarine, the fake butter. That's faking you out. Margarine might seem like a healthier alternative to butter, but it's actually terrible for your joints. Why? Because most margarines are loaded with trans fats and heavily processed ingredients. Trans fats are well-known inflammation triggers. A 2011 study in the Journal of Lipid Research showed that diets high in trans fats significantly raise inflammatory markers in the blood. Margarine also contains high levels of omega-6 fatty acids, which, when not balanced with omega-3s, can promote inflammation. And the processing of margarine introduces artificial additives and emulsifiers that can mess with your gut health and immune function, leading to more systemic inflammation. The fix? Switch to healthier fats like olive oil, avocado, or even small amounts of grass-fed butter. Your joints will notice the difference. Pepperoni. Pizza. Pepperoni pizza. A perfect storm for inflammation. Pizza night might be fun, but if you're dealing with arthritis, pepperoni pizza is basically a triple threat. First, the cheese and pepperoni are loaded with saturated fats, which raise inflammatory markers in your body. Second, the refined flour in the pizza dough has a high glycemic index, causing rapid blood sugar and insulin spikes that trigger inflammation. And third, processed meats like pepperoni contain AGEs and nitrates, which add to inflammation and oxidative stress. 2024 study in Cell Biochemistry and Biophysics found that saturated fats trigger inflammation in fat tissue, which can make arthritis flare-ups worse. If you love pizza, try making it at home with whole grain crust, light cheese, and veggie toppings instead of processed meats. You'll still get the flavor without the inflammation. 9. Diet soda, 0 calories, maximum inflammation. But it's diet. It has no sugar. I hear this all the time. And yes, diet soda doesn't have sugar, but it has something potentially worse: artificial sweeteners. Aspartame and other artificial sweeteners have been linked to increased inflammation and oxidative stress. A 2015 study in Endocrinologia y Nutrición showed that aspartame may alter immune responses and increase inflammation. Plus, diet sodas can mess with your hunger signals and gut bacteria, which can lead to weight gain and poor insulin regulation, even though they're low in calories. Dr. Emily Carter recommends skipping diet soda altogether and drinking water, herbal tea, or naturally flavored sparkling water instead. Food number 10, instant noodles. Instant noodles. Fast food, slow damage. Instant noodles might be cheap and convenient, but they're a disaster for your joints. They're loaded with sodium and preservatives, including MSG, which can trigger inflammation, especially in sensitive individuals. A 2023 study in Curious found that diets high in processed, salty foods are linked to elevated inflammatory markers. Plus, the oils used to fry instant noodles are often high in omega-6 fatty acids, which further promote systemic inflammation. If you need a quick meal, try making your own soup with whole grain noodles, fresh veggies, and lean protein. It's just as fast and way better for your joints. Food number 11 to 15, rapid fire. All right, we're in the home stretch. Let me quickly cover the last 5. Number 11, grapeseed oil, high in omega-6 fatty acids, which promote inflammation when not balanced with omega-3s. Switch to olive oil or flaxseed oil. 12. French fries, loaded with trans fats, ages, and salt, all inflammatory nightmares. Try baked sweet potato fries instead. 13. White rice. High glycemic index means blood sugar spikes and more inflammation. Swap for brown rice, quinoa, or cauliflower rice. Number 14. Cheesecake, packed with saturated fat and sugar, a double whammy for inflammation. Save it for special occasions and keep portions small. Number 15. Corn-fed beef, high in saturated fats and omega-6s, unlike grass-fed beef, which has more omega-3s and antioxidants. Choose leaner proteins or grass-fed options. All right, friends, there you have it. 15 foods that could be secretly sabotaging your joint health. Now, I'm not saying you can never eat these foods again. Life's too short for that. But if you're dealing with arthritis, being mindful of what you eat can make a huge difference in how you feel. Start small, pick 1 or 2 foods from this list, and try cutting them out for a couple of weeks. See how your body responds. Track your pain levels, your energy, your mobility. I bet you'll be surprised. If this video helped you, please hit that like button and share it with someone who's struggling with joint pain. And don't forget to subscribe to Kind Care Seniors so you never miss our tips for living healthier, stronger, and pain-free. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these foods do you eat regularly? And which one are you going to cut out first? Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. You deserve to feel your best every single day.